a quick demo of SizeLabels for InDesign. It's a little script that allows you to add information frames next to any frames on the InDesign page. So this tool works both for Mac and Windows. I'm showing it on Windows, but the Mac version works identically the same. So the first thing is to open up your scripts panel, so which is Window, Utilities, Scripts. And after you've installed SizeLabels, you'll see disappear like SizeLabels with a version number, and then two scripts under that folder, so it's under the user folder. So the first thing I'll do is I'll copy a sample file into my InDesign so we can actually have some material to work with. So this sample file also does double duty as the template for SizeLabels, so you can use it as a starting point for configuring and changing your own SizeLabels. Make sure you switch on or switch off match pasteboard to theme color if you're on a dark theme, because otherwise these frames on the pasteboard are hard to read. So there are two text frames on the pasteboard, and there's also a template sample frame for a SizeLabel on the pasteboard. So take your time to read this. There's a lot of information about how it all works. So I'll just take the whole tool through its paces and show you various things. So to run the tool, all you do is you double click SizeLabels. So SizeLabels comes in two versions. So there's a basic version which is free, and there's a pro version which is has additional features. So the pro version costs $4 a year, and so it has it can be enabled, but it runs as a trial. So when you first install SizeLabels, you can try out the full version for 30 days. So to run SizeLabels, all you need to do is double click the script on the panel and it'll run. SizeLabels is not live, so for example I can move these frames and resize them, and you'll see the SizeLabels don't move or update. So if I make this one a bit wider, the main trick is that you have to rerun the script after you've made changes to the page. So you can experiment with SizeLabels and keep on tweaking the settings that you see here. But each time you tweak something, you need to rerun the script, and the SizeLabels will be recalculated and repositioned. The SizeLabels are all created on a layer called SizeLabels, so that's this layer. And if you want to undo what the script did, all you need to do is delete that layer. So if you delete that layer, all the labels are gone again. So, and to get them back, all you need to do is double click SizeLabels and it recreates all those SizeLabels again. So there's a number of things you can tweak. You can tweak the units being used. So currently it's set to inches. You can say you want to have centimeters. Say, okay, I want the horizontal to be centimeters and the vertical to be picas. That's possible. You can also make those frames wider and higher. Say like I'm going to make them a little bit higher. I make them 1/2 inch high. You can also omit SizeLabels for really small frames, and this determines how small a small frame is. And for example, I could say like I don't want this image file name to be listed on the SizeLabel, so you can switch that off by saying no. And then all you need to do is rerun the SizeLabel. See, now they're higher. It's centimeters and picas, and so everything has updated. The label here is gone. There's also a number of additional features, and you can use them for 30 days, and afterwards there is like a small fee of $4 to use those features. So I can lock the layer, because right now this SizeLabels layer is not locked, which is handy. So you can do things like, for example, you could reposition the SizeLabels. You can remove some of them, say like I don't want this one, I don't want that one, but I do want that one. So it's very flexible. But the annoying thing is that because that layer is unlocked, and it's quite easy to accidentally create things on that SizeLabels layer, and that layer is a throwaway layer. We're going to delete it the moment we want to get rid of those labels. And if you have accidentally created stuff on that layer, that'll be gone too. So you don't really want that to happen, and so to avoid that, you can just simply set this to lock layer, yes. So if I now rerun the script, you see the SizeLabels layer is now locked, which means I cannot accidentally create stuff on that layer. And then there's a whole lot of features that you can use to tweak. So you can, for example, say, well, I don't want any unit names, or I might want to rename, because say like this might be an exoteric unit that I don't know, but it has a different name. You can say like, name this horizontal thing something. You can also add in prefixes. So I can say, for example, prefix the horizontal width with W equals, and prefix the vertical width, say H equals. And if you rerun, you'll see that it immediately looks a little bit different. So now it says W. Say, and I might not want an X between those two. I'd rather have a comma. Say now I said like separate between width and height as a comma. So now it looks like this. Or I might say, well, I want the height first and then the width. So I say yes, swap width and height. So, and the whole idea is that you can experiment and just try different settings. And the other thing that is important is that SizeLabels is the styling is determined by a character style, sorry, a paragraph style. So there's a paragraph style called SizeLabels style, and if you modify that style, that will affect all the SizeLabels. And by defining that style, you can essentially change how everything looks. So for example, I might want to say, well, I want this to be italic. So if I change this, so all my SizeLabels are now italic, because they're all formatted using that style. And the same thing goes for the rest of the formatting. So like this thing here is formatted with an object style, and that object style is applied to all the SizeLabels. And if you modify that object style, that change will immediately affect the whole document, all SizeLabels in the whole document. So what I'll do is I'll now close this without saving, and I'll rerun that script so I can have a blank sample document again. Go back. So there's we're back to the normal standard document object. Now you can transport settings for SizeLabels into your own document. So all you need to do is create a new document, or an existing document. So you have a document, and what you need to do is you copy these two frames, so that are on the pasteboard. So I have the configuration frame and I have the template SizeLabel. I just copy them, and then I go, and easiest is to do paste in place. So now they're on the pasteboard of this new document. So this new document has never used SizeLabels. And then if I have some frames and I want to label them, all I need to do is rerun the script, and there are the SizeLabels. So that's a quick demo of SizeLabels. To download and install, I have another movie which explains how to do it, but essentially all you need to do is to first go to the store. So there's a store, tgrg.net. And there you first need to download the plugin installer. So, and that's where it all starts. So you start with downloading the plugin installer from store.tgrg.net, and then you can easily install SizeLabels. So I'll do that in a separate movie. So that's the demo.